Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are continuing the series of 2023 CBSE accounts paper. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you are missing out on a lot of study resources, study materials for your complete preparation for ISC and CBSE examinations. There are a lot of resources that will help you to have your understanding clear at a concept level, and you will be able to pick up those sums easily in the exams and do them quickly. There are many things that you need to know before your exams. Full complete preparation के लिए जानना ज़रूरी है. So subscribe to the channel to get access to everything that is there on the channel. Let's get back to the video. Here in this question, we'll be covering the question 23, section A and B, which are the 6 mark sum that we have. Let's have a look. These are the sums on forfeiture of share. BCG Limited forfeited 75 shares of rupees 10 each, issued at a premium of rupees 4 per share for non-payment of allotment money of rupees 8 per share, including premium. So this 8 per share includes rupees 4 premium. The face value is 4, and premium is not received because the allotment money was not paid. So premium of 4 rupees was also not received. That means you will be debiting securities premium account during forfeiture. Okay, 4 into 75, that will come out here as your securities premium amount. So straight away you have to write that 75 into 4, which is 300, that gets debited to securities premium reserve account during forfeiture. The first and final call of rupees 4 per share was not made. Now this is also important information. The first and final call was not made. That means the called up value of the shares is rupees 6. 10 is the face value, 4 rupees are not called up, so called up value is 6. Share capital account will be debited by 75 into 6. That will be the amount that will go there. Okay, so that's also important. So let's write it down here. 75 into 6, that comes to 450. That will be debited to share capital account. Okay, let's have a look. So look at the first journal that we have, and stay tuned till the end, because at the end we'll be discussing the marking scheme, how the scoring is done for these sums, how much marks is allotted for each of the journals. So here we have share capital account debit 450, which is 75 into 6. 6 is the called up amount. Securities premium reserve account debit, which is 300, which is 75 into 4, which is 300, because this is the premium amount which is not received. And remember always, securities premium account is debited only which is not received. If the premium money is received, then that cannot be debited. Okay, here it is clearly mentioned that allotment money included the premium money, and allotment money is not received. That means premium is also not received. Then we have two share forfeiture account or forfeited shares account. This will include the money which has been received. Now, as you can see here, rupees 4 was on first and final call, and rupees 4, the face value on allotment was 4. So only 2 rupees have been received on these 75 shares. So that is the money which is forfeited. So 75 into 2, which is 150, that is the amount that has been forfeited and which is credited to forfeited shares account 150. Two share allotment in some cases and two calls in arrears. There are different ways of doing it. Don't be confused. Both are correct. So either you can write two share allotment account or two calls in arrears account. Better preferred way is calls in arrears. This is the amount which is not received. So how much you have not received? Clearly, you have not received the premium 4 rupees, and you have not received the allotment money as well. We will not take the final call because that money is not called up yet. So 8 rupees has not been received. 75 into 8, that gives you 600, which is the money which is not received. So 600 goes here. Now I have seen students doing a subtraction and putting the amount. That may not give you the right result if you are missing out something. So it's always good to double check with your calculations so that you will rest assured whatever you're doing is correct. So having done this, if you read the question now, the forfeited shares were reissued at 15 per share, fully paid up. Now these things are important and these are the trick words which are used in the question. Okay, so 15 per share, as you can see easily, these are issued at a higher value. That means these are issued at a premium. So all the shares are reissued. Let's do the calculation. Then bank account debit, that will be 75 shares into the issue price, which is 15. That becomes 1125. That becomes the issue price, the money received. Okay. Now comes the interesting part or the tricky part. Now here I have seen students again getting confused what value to take as the premium amount and what value should go as share capital. Now fully paid means that these are considered as rupees 10. These values are at 10 and the issue at 15, that means rupees 5 is the premium. Do not consider this with the 6 rupees which has been called that we did here, 75 into 6. These have been converted into fully paid shares. That means these shareholders will not have to pay the call money which is not called on the other shares. These are converted into fully paid shares. So in that case, your share capital will be straight away 75 into 10, which is 750. That will be share capital, and your premium will be simple 75 into 5, which is 375. That becomes your premium. Okay. Tricky part, however, be careful. If you read the question carefully, all your doubts will be cleared. The next entry, as we all know, the forfeiture amount is transferred to capital reserve. And in this case, the entire 150 which was forfeited here will be transferred to capital reserve because there is no discount on reissue, rather there is a premium. Forfeited shares account or share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve 150, the entire amount is transferred. Some students ask me that what's the difference between securities premium account and securities premium reserve account. There is no difference. You can write any one of them. It's the same. In some schools, instructions are out that you have to write securities premium account. So even if you are writing securities premium reserve account, that's also correct. Okay. So we have done this, completed this Roman 1 under part A, which is for 3 marks. And if you see at the marking scheme, there are 3 journals for this, and each journal carry 1 mark. So you have to be careful. You have to get these journals correct to be able to score 1 mark each and a total of 3 marks. Let's move on to the Roman 2 of this question, which is on forfeiture again. Geetika Limited forfeited 1200 shares of rupees 50 each, issued at par for non-payment of final call of rupees 10 per share. Out of these, 900 shares were reissued at 45 per share, fully paid up. Okay. So again, straightforward if you look at it at a concept level. Forfeited 1200 shares of 50 each. Okay, so the share capital account will be debited 1200 into 50, which makes it 6000. So that is what will be debited to share capital account. And from this information, for non-payment of final call money, that gives you the information that all the calls were made. Okay, final call is 10 rupees. That goes as your calls in arrear. So 1200 into 10, 12,000 goes as your calls in arrears here, as you can see. And the rest, which is 40 rupees on these shares which have been received till date, will be forfeited. So 40 rupees into 1200, which is 48,000, will be credited to forfeited shares account. Okay, then out of these 900 shares were reissued at 45 per share, so straight away the issue price becomes 900 into 45. That is the amount which is received on issuing the shares, which is 40,500. And as you can clearly see, there's a discount of 5 rupees, so that also goes here. 900 into 5 which is 4500. That is your discount on reissue. So share capital account will be the face value of 900 shares, 900 shares into 50, which is 45,000. That goes into share capital account. Always remember, share capital account will only have the face value, not the discounted value and not the premium value, only the face value. Having done that, now the interesting part or the most important part where students sometimes go wrong is calculation of profit on reissue. So forfeited shares account debit to capital reserve. How much is the profit which is made on these 900 shares? Consider only 900 shares which are reissued. That is the rule. So on 900 shares, how much did we forfeit? This 48,000 forfeiture which is given here, this is on the 1200 shares. And remember, we have forfeited 40 rupees per share. Okay, so on 900 shares, if I calculate at the same rate, then we get 36,000 that has been forfeited. Okay, and minus the discount which is given, just now we gave 4500, right? So the amount of profit which is made is 31,500. That is the profit which will be transferred to capital reserve. So let me repeat once more. 40 rupees is the amount forfeited per share on the share reissued, which is 900 shares. That means company forfeited 36,000 only on these 900 shares we're talking about, minus the discount on reissue, which is 4500 as we calculated here. So that's giving us 31,500 as the capital profit which the company has made on reissue of these shares. So that goes to this entry for forfeited shares account debit to capital reserve account. Gain on 900 reissued shares transferred to capital reserve. Here also, if you look at the marking scheme, it's 1 mark per journal. So 3 journals, 3 marks. If you're doing them correctly, you secure 3 marks. So total 6 marks in part A. Part A has got two subsections, Roman 1 and Roman 2. Moving on to part B, which is the OR question. Now it's your choice whether which one you want to pick. However, it's good to be better prepared for the examination and use your reading time to make the best choice of the questions that you're going to attempt. So let's have a look at part B, which is the entire sum is for 6 marks. Pushkar Limited invited applications for 30,000 shares of rupees 100 each at 20% premium. On application, rupees 40 including 10 premium. On allotment, rupees 30 including 10 premium. On first call, rupees 30, and second and final call, the balance. How much is the balance? Let's do the calculation. This is 30, this is 20, which is 50. 50 plus 30 is 80. So 20 rupees is the balance, which is on final call. Excluding premium is, if you do the calculation, it becomes easy for you. So that's how you can do it. All right, let's move on to the second part of this question, the continuation. Applications were received for 40,000 shares and pro rata allotment was made to the applicants for 35,000 shares. How many shares the company is issuing? Let's have a look quickly. 30,000 shares company is issuing at 20% premium. So that means the 5,000 applications were rejected. As you can see, 5,000 were rejected. So their money will be refunded. Okay, 5,000 is the number of shares here. And pro rata allotment, 35,000 applicants were given 30,000 shares. That means the ratio is 35 is to 30, right? So if you simplify that further, you get 7 is to 6. That's the ratio of allotment. This will be required to calculate the amount due on calls. So let's look at the second part. Excess application money was adjusted towards sum due on allotment. Yogesh, who applied for 700 shares, failed to pay the allotment money, and his shares were forfeited immediately after allotment. Now, Students miss out these words who applied for 700 shares. Now, definitely, when he has applied for 700 shares, he was not allotted 700 shares because there was pro rata allotment done to 35,000 shares. Applicants, 30,000 shares were given, right? 30,000 shares were allotted to them. So even Yogesh, who applied for 700 shares, he did not get the entire amount. You have to use this ratio to find out how much did he get. So some simple way of calculating this is 700 into 6 by 7, which is 600. So Yogesh received, or Yogesh was allotted 600 shares. Now, when he applied for 700 shares, he paid the application money for 700 shares. So on 100 shares, he has paid the application money extra. So how much did he pay? If you look at the application money, that was 40 including premium. So excess application which he has paid is 100 shares into 40, and this excess application money will be adjusted towards allotment. So that becomes 4,000 rupees. So he has paid excess 4,000 rupees when he applied for these shares, and these will be adjusted to allotment. Anything remaining over and above that will become his due, which he did not pay. Okay, and that will be required for forfeiture because immediately after allotment, his shares are being forfeited. So till here, let's do the journal. The first journal that we have is bank account debit to share application account. And straight away, this will be 40,000 shares into 40 rupees because that is the application money. So that becomes 16 lakhs. Second journal transferring this to share capital, share application account debit 16 lakhs, which is the amount from the first journal to share capital. This will be the face value as I told you. This will be on number of shares being issued, which is 30,000 into the face value, which is 30 rupees for application because 40 includes rupees 10 premium. So 30,000 into 30, which is 9 lakhs. Then you have securities premium or securities premium reserve account. 10 rupees is the premium on 30,000 shares. So 30,000 into 10, 3 lakhs is your premium that gets credited here. Two share allotment account and two bank account. Let's do the bank account first. We know 5,000 shares were rejected as we did here. So on 5,000 shares, 40 rupees per share will be refunded. So 2 lakhs. And on the other 5,000, like 35,000 share applicants received 30,000 shares. So they also applied excess 5,000 shares. That will get adjusted with share allotment as the question mentions here. The sum due will be adjusted towards allotment. So those 5,000 shares will be transferred to share allotment account. So 5,000 into 40, 2 lakh rupees. That all adds up to 16 lakhs. This becomes your second journal. Now you make the allotment money due, share allotment account debit on 30,000 shares, which is the actual number of shares company is issuing, two share capital and two securities premium reserve because on allotment as well we have 10 rupees premium. Okay, so 30,000 into 20 becomes your share capital and 30,000 into 10, 3 lakhs becomes your securities premium money. Having done that, next comes the money received on allotment. Now, always remember when you are making the calls due, that time you don't have visibility who all will pay and who won't pay. Calls in arrear doesn't come in this entry. I've seen students being confused sometimes that calls in arrear will come where. It comes with the bank account entry. When you're actually receiving the money, you get to know who all are paying and who all are not paying. Coming to the receiving entry, now on these 30,000 shares, let's see how much we have received. And it's clearly mentioned Yogesh, who applied for 700 shares, that means who was allotted 600 shares, he did not pay the allotment money. So on his 600 shares, we have already received 4,000 from him as an excess that will be adjusted towards allotment. And on his 600 shares, we were expecting to receive 600 into 30, which is 18,000 rupees. Out of 18,000, we have received 4,000. So 14,000 is the due from him that goes as call scenario. So coming to the journal, bank account debit calls in arrears account debit to share allotment account, which is money received on share allotment. Now the other entry which is shown here, this is the another way of doing it without using calls in arrears account. In some books you will find this journal as well. However, I would say do the first one because that makes things easy for you. Even during forfeiture, you can use this as your ready reference. So 7 lakh is the total money which is credited to share allotment account. Now, how 7 lakh? Total 30,000 shares are there. 30,000 into 30 rupees, that makes it 9 lakhs. Out of 9 lakhs, the 2 lakhs are already credited here because we have received that. That's why 7 lakh here. Now out of the 7 lakh, 14,000 we are not receiving from Yogesh. That goes as calls in arrears. And the remaining 6 lakhs 86,000 is debited to bank account. Okay. If for students who follow the other method, उनके लिए बता देता हूँ, वो कॉल्स इन अरियर का अमाउंट यहाँ पे डेबिट नहीं किया जाता, सिर्फ बैंक का अमाउंट ही लिखा जाता है 6,86,000 और ये जो 14,000 है जो कॉल्स इन अरियर में यहाँ पे डेबिट नहीं हुआ है ये सीधा फॉरफीचर के जर्नल में आ जाता है एज शेयर अलॉटमेंट अकाउंट। यहाँ भी कॉल्स इन अगर यूज़ नहीं होता है तो शेयर फॉरफीचर के जर्नल में भी कॉल्स इन अरियर नहीं लिखा जाता है, यहाँ पे सीधा लिखा जाता है टू शेयर अलॉटमेंट अकाउंट 14,000 क्रेडिट हो जाते हैं। ओके, जिसको जिस मेथड से कंफर्टेबल है वो मेथड फॉलो कर सकता है, but preferably I use the first one which makes things easier. Now as the question says that allotment के बाद ही forfeiture हो चुका है, so forfeit करना पड़ेगा इन shares को। अब ये जो 600 shares allotted हैं योगेश को, ये forfeit करने हैं। अलॉटमेंट के बाद ही forfeiture हो रहा है, ये चीज़ याद रखने की बात है क्योंकि कॉल्ड अप अमाउंट उस हिसाब से यहाँ पे तय होगा। सो कॉल्ड अप अमाउंट देखा जाए तो एप्लीकेशन में 40 रुपए थे जिसमें से 30 रुपए फेस वैल्यू के थे और अलॉटमेंट में थे 30 रुपए जिसमें से 20 रुपए फेस वैल्यू के थे। सो टोटल 50 रुपए हुए। 600 इंटू 50 बिकम्स 30,000 जो यहाँ पे डेबिट हो गए शेयर कैपिटल में। नाउ द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट, सिक्योरिटीज प्रीमियम रिजर्व अकाउंट डेबिट हो रहा है। कितने से डेबिट होगा? जितना का प्रीमियम हमें नहीं मिला है। ओके, एप्लीकेशन में जो प्रीमियम थे 10 रुपए करके वो मिल चुके हैं क्योंकि एप्लीकेशन मनी मिल चुका है, लेकिन अलॉटमेंट में जो प्रीमियम है 10 रुपए करके 600 शेयर्स पे वो नहीं मिला है क्योंकि उसने अलॉटमेंट मनी पे नहीं किया है। प्लस ये 4,000 जो उसने एक्सेस एप्लीकेशन दिया है, ये 4,000 फेस वैल्यू में ही एडजस्ट हो जा रहा है। सो कुछ भी प्रीमियम तक स्पिल ओवर नहीं हो रहा है, इसलिए पूरा का पूरा प्रीमियम जो है 600 शेयर्स पे इंटू 10 विच इज 6,000, ये ही पूरा प्रीमियम यहाँ पे डेबिट हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसमें से कुछ भी नहीं मिला। टू फॉरफिटेड शेयर्स अकाउंट, जितने पैसे मिले वो यहाँ पे फॉरफिट हो जाएंगे। कितने मिले ये भी ट्रिकी हो सकता है अगर ठीक से फॉलो नहीं करो तो। उसने 700 शेयर्स के लिए अप्लाई किया था और जब उसने एप्लीकेशन मनी दिए थे 700 शेयर्स पे 40 रुपए करके, तो उसने 28,000 रुपये पे किए थे। 28,000 में से उसने एप्लीकेशन मनी में जो प्रीमियम था वो भी दिया था और नियम है जो प्रीमियम का पैसा मिल जाता है उसको इंक्लूड नहीं करते, उसको एक्सक्लूड करना पड़ता है। नाउ प्रीमियम में कंफ्यूजन हो सकती है कि 700 पे होगा कि 600 पे होगा। सिंपल सा बात है 600 पे ही होगा क्योंकि उसको 600 शेयर्स अलॉट हुए हैं। ओके, तो 600 शेयर के हिसाब से 600 इंटू 10, 6,000 रुपये उसके प्रीमियम बनते हैं जो कि माइनस हो जाएंगे। एप्लीकेशन वाले प्रीमियम है ये, ना कि अलॉटमेंट वाले। जो उसने पे कर दिए थे एप्लीकेशन के वो प्रीमियम माइनस हो जाएंगे। तो 22,000 रुपये उसने नेट पे किए हैं एक्सक्लूडिंग प्रीमियम जो कि फॉरफिट हो चुके हैं। यहाँ पे शेयर फॉरफिचर में आ गया 22,000। कॉल्स इन अरियर में हमने ऊपर कैलकुलेट किया ही है 14,000, वो यहाँ पे क्रेडिट हो गया टू कॉल्स इन अरियर्स। ओके, शेयर फॉरफीचर हो चुका है। इसके बाद क्वेश्चन में री इशू के बारे में अभी कुछ बोला नहीं है। अब नाउ कंटिन्यू विद द क्वेश्चन। First call was made thereafter and all the money due on the first call was received. The second and final call was not made. तो फर्स्ट कॉल ड्यू करते हैं. यहाँ पर भी एक ट्रिक है. फर्स्ट कॉल जो ड्यू किया गया है ये 600 शेयर पे ड्यू नहीं होगा क्योंकि ये फॉरफिट हो चुका है. तो टोटल जो फर्स्ट कॉल ड्यू होगा वो होगा 30,000 शेयर माइनस 600 शेयर्स विच इज 29,400 शेयर्स. इसके ऊपर फर्स्ट कॉल का जो मनी है वो यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट होगा. फर्स्ट कॉल पे कितना है देख लेते हैं फटाक से एक बार. 30 रुपए. सो फर्स्ट कॉल पे 30 रुपए है. 29,400 इंटू 30 दैट विल गिव यू 8,82,000. मैंने देखा है बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स इस जगह गलती कर देते हैं. यहाँ पर भी वो लोग 30,000 शेयर पे ही कैलकुलेट कर देते हैं. बट याद रखो 600 शेयर तो फॉरफिट हो चुके हैं. उस पे कंपनी नहीं मांग सकती कि फर्स्ट कॉल के पैसे दो क्योंकि वो शेयर कंपनी के पास ही है. ये शेयर अभी री इशू भी नहीं हुए हैं. अगर री इशू हो जाते तो अलग केस होता. ठीक है, तो ये चीज़ें ध्यान रखनी है. फर्स्ट कॉल के पैसे कॉल किए और सारे के सारे पैसे मिल गए. यहाँ बोल दिया है साफ साफ. सो नेक्स्ट एंट्री इज बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट टू शेयर फर्स्ट कॉल अकाउंट 8,82,000 पैसे मिल गए. इसके बाद क्वेश्चन में और कुछ नहीं बोला है. सो जर्नल्स इसके यहीं पे फिनिश होते हैं. मार्किंग स्कीम देख लेते हैं कि कैसे मार्क्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है. 6 मार्क्स शुरू से देखा जाए तो पहला जर्नल पे हाफ मार्क्स है विच इज बैंक अकाउंट टू शेयर एप्लीकेशन. सेकेंड जर्नल जो है उसके लिए फुल 1 मार्क है. ये जो ट्रांसफर टू शेयर कैपिटल है. थर्ड जर्नल जो है उसके लिए भी 1 मार्क है. शेयर अलॉटमेंट जहाँ पे ड्यू कर रहे हैं और शेयर अलॉटमेंट जहाँ पैसे मिल रहे हैं उसके लिए 1 मार्क है. फॉरफीचर एंट्री के लिए 1 मार्क है. फर्स्ट कॉल जो एंट्री है उसके लिए 1 मार्क है. यहाँ पे दिमाग यूज़ करना है. 29,400 इसलिए 1 मार्क है. और जो लास्ट एंट्री है उसके लिए हाफ मार्क है जहाँ पे वी आर रिसीविंग द फर्स्ट कॉल मनी. टोटल बन गए 6 मार्क्स. मार्किंग स्कीम समझना भी ज़रूरी है so that you don't end up making mistakes. Hope this was helpful. If it really helped you understand things at a concept level, then do hit the like button, do share with your friends, stay tuned to this channel and don't miss out any future videos. Do check out the previous videos as well for your full preparation. We'll catch you all in the next set of videos. Loads of videos are going to come. Thanks for watching.